Because here's the scary part. This is a hot take. Steph can go down, and if everybody hoops, they can still possibly get to the conference finals.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, welcome, kings and queens, to another episode brought to you by us, the educators. I am Oba, and I'm here with my brother.
What's going on, y'all? It's your Shabazz.
And we're going to bring you more high-level intellect when it comes to, in this case, basketball and the NBA. As you can already see, the first team we have up is the world champions, Golden State Warriors.
Team of the decade.
Man, that's a bold statement, and to be honest, I can't even argue with that. Since 2015, they have definitely dominated the NBA, and yeah, I can't even argue with that statement. Yeah, it's LeBron and them.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
that.
We're gonna start with defending champs, and last year's record was 53-29. They, like I said, the NBA champions. But the funny thing, if you notice, they were the third seed, so it wasn't like they were the number one seed for the whole year.
Right.
They had key moments when they were on top, but because of injuries, they went to the bottom. So, like I said, 53-29 is a great record, especially when you don't have the whole team healthy for the whole year.
100%.
They ranked top 5 in offense and defense for most of the year. So that also shows you the signs of a championship DNA.
And that
team.
just goes to show you, the team structure, because there's no clear standout outside of Steph Curry, obviously, but no clear standout players.
Facts.
You could say Draymond, but Draymond's not that same Draymond he was a couple years ago.
Facts.
Still definitely impactful though, don't get me wrong.
And the powerful thing in that statement you said was, yes, Steph Curry stood out to a certain extent, but this Warriors resembled the strength and number Warriors that won the chips before KD.
Exactly.
So that was the part that they went back to. So when you throw a flamethrower like Steph Curry with the amazing group, it produces a contender like this. So, but like I said, I have my reservations in terms of who's going to win the championship this year, and it's not the Warriors. So we're going to start right now with evaluating the Warriors and last year and this year. So first, we have the players who are returning this year. So pretty much the main key components
the core
are all back.
I would say, that's the core.
The Warriors did lose, however. If you see on the screen, the Warriors lost Andre Iguodala, who year 17, he hasn't retired yet, so he could still come back at some point. You understand? He probably just resting his legs. Lost Damian Lee, who wasn't that big of a key figure.
Yeah, he's just there because he's banging Steph's sister.
Hey, nasty!
Gary Payton II, who also left.
Crucial piece.
Went to the Portland Trail Blazers. They lost Otto Porter Jr., who went to the Toronto Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Juan Toscano, who went to the Lakers. And that's pretty much the key people that they lost.
So I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Without Gary Payton this past season, do you think the Warriors still won that chip?
Yes. The reason why I believe that they still would have won, because the difference with this last year's Warriors and this year's Warriors was that the team Steve Kerr had a blessing in disguise when it comes to the injuries. If his team was fully healthy last year, he would have been forced to try to divide the minutes up amongst all these young, talented players. People fail to realize that last year, the number 2 pick, James Wiseman, sat for the whole year. So that allowed 30 minutes a game to open up.
Yep.
Because Kuminga and Moody, who are super exceptional players, were still in their rookie year, they didn't have the boldness to speak up. So they spent a lot of time in the G League, on the bench. They played crucial minutes, though, at random times throughout the year.
And Wiseman showed, his ability to spread the floor.
In Summer League, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll say he, and he adds that lob threat
100%.
You know, because Looney, he didn't really have that same lob threat or scoring ability outside of 3 feet from the basket.
No. One thing I'll give Looney, to his credit, is he plays smart basketball. He knows his job. He rotates. He's not a wild player. His numbers are not going to wow you. But he does his job. Every NBA team needs that. And then when you add Wiseman, who adds all these different dimensions, he's 7'1", 6'7" wingspan.
Yep.
Got a smooth jumper. And you add Kuminga now, who's super confident. You add Moses Moody. And then you drafted Patrick Baldwin, who's McDonald's All-American.
Oh, yeah.
Who had like a down year in Milwaukee because he played for his father.
Oh, yeah. Tell us a little bit about Baldwin's story.
Baldwin, amazing talent. 6'9", can shoot from everywhere. It's funny how like the Warriors always end up with these light-skinned shooters.
No, bro.
We are light-skinned, and we can help you.
Like, it's funny, you get Clay and Steph, light-skinned shooters, and then you got just happen to get a player named Jordan Poole, who matches the Splash Brothers, and he's light-skinned too.
What makes a good pool party?
Music, vibes, any swim attire, and some water. You'll be all right.
Aren't you forgetting something?
He's up for a contract or extension pretty
Yes,
soon, right?
yes.
So yeah, that's definitely, pay attention to that throughout the season.
And this may be the reason why this will be the only year we see this team together. Because like you said, Jordan Poole's up for contract extension, Andrew Wiggins up for contract extension, and Draymond Green's up for contract extension. Steph Curry's already paid, Clay's already paid, and then you have the young dudes who are going to require a lot of these minutes. Between Kuminga, between Wiseman, between Moody, and then you even got Mac McClung, who won Rookie of the Year in the NBA G League.
Biggest steal.
You have Patrick Baldwin Jr. You added Jermichael Green, who is like a smaller version of Looney, who does his job. He can actually shoot, though. That's the only difference.
That's the difference.
He can guard a little more on the perimeter, but same type of player. You also add Dante DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo,
yeah,
big, bro. He was big for the Bucks, so that's definitely a great addition too. While we know the Warriors are known for paying their players, Draymond Green, that's going to be some interesting to pay attention to. His situation.
Facts. And this is what I say, like, so every team that's in our contenders list has a biggest hurdle, which means the thing that's going to be in their way. Now, you're going to hear us mention a lot about injuries. This Warriors team was hurt for about 2 or 3 years, and coincidentally, they weren't even in the playoffs, or they barely got in a lot of times.
Yep.
So now they're healthy. Their biggest hurdle, which was a blessing last year, is going to be how do you incorporate all these young, talented players with your veteran squad, with players who have contracts coming up, and you're trying to go for a back-to-back championship. You understand? So this is why I say that Steve Kerr is going to be challenged. Because last year, you have to understand, Clay missed most of the last year. He missed, the first 20, 30 games? 35
majority,
games?
like the first 40 games, I believe, of the season.
Exactly. So he worked him in on small stints before they gave him the big amount of time throughout the playoffs and finals. And I'm happy he stayed healthy. So the first 30 games of the season, they didn't have to worry about Clay asking for minutes.
Exactly.
Because you see, as soon as Clay came back, he was complaining about getting shots. Literally, you can see him on the sideline in different clips, if you go look it up, of him pouting for not getting a shot, and Steve Curry taking him out. You also had Draymond Green missing a little bit of time. You also had, I believe, Steph Curry may have missed a short amount of time.
This is probably the shortest amount of time he's missed in the last couple years.
And Wiseman missed the whole year. So because of all these injuries, it allowed the players to kind of just play the older veterans who were healthy. It allowed them to play their key players and then work players in. Because when Steph didn't play and Clay wasn't there, Jordan Poole shows you why it's a pool party. You can find, I believe it's House of Highlights. They have clips of the Warriors playing without Clay and Steph. And it's basically Kuminga, Poole, Moody, and Draymond. And I think Iguodala's in there too, but it was clips just centered around those four, and it shows you how smooth, the offense still ran because of how talented those players were.
Exactly, that young core.
Yes.
Something else to keep an eye on too is Patrick Baldwin, he had ankle issues this past year in college, but he got drafted to the perfect organization. You know, seeing the ankle injuries Curry dealt with early in his career. So,
and that's a double positive because, like you said, one, he gets to learn from one of the best players of all time who dealt with this injury that was going to end his career.
yup.
Secondly, he gets to learn to shoot in all kinds of situations, off ball, on ball. Thirdly, they have no incentive or reason to play him. As I just mentioned, with all the young players playing, all the minutes that have to go around, there's no reason to even give him time. He will spend most of his time in the G League unless there's a lot of injuries. So you'll have players like McClung, mostly in the G League. Patrick Baldwin will be in the G League for most of the year unless injuries start to occur. But players like Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman are expected to take a step up. That's why they're not going to miss Gary Payton Jr. or Juan Toscano or even what's his name? What's the other guy's name? Damian Lee.
Yeah.
Or even Iguodala. I hate to say it. Iguodala was a veteran presence, but they still have they have 3 veterans. On top of all these players have championship experience. They all Moody, Kuminga, all got a chance to get a taste of high-level basketball. The Warriors, like I said, have an amazing chance to repeat. I would say they probably have the top 2 best chance to repeat as a team because of their depth, because of their youth, because of their experience, the versatility. They're just like I said, you can't build a team any better. Like I said, shout out to the Warriors. Once again, they maximize all their talent. Even when they have injuries, they still find a way to get young players, whether it be in draft. Like, here's one. Mac McClung was rookie G League and the Lakers had him. The Lakers had this habit of doing great drafting, finding young players, undrafted, and they still always let them go. So I would definitely say that really the only thing that can stop this team is if Steve Kerr can't control the personalities on the team.
100%.
That's what it comes down to.
I'll say that and the rest of the West being healthy.
100%. And that's like I said, the Warriors, you ask me to bet money, I would say they have the second best odds of winning the chip. Maybe third. So if you had to say your prediction for next year, where do you see the Warriors ranking in the West?
I would say if the entire league is healthy, top 3 seed, just because of the leaps I see the young players taking, you know, and that hunger that I'm expecting to see them play with. You know, so that's definitely going to be something cool to watch this year.
I would definitely say top 3, and I would say we're going to see how good of a coach Steve Kerr really is when it comes to managing egos and calling X's and O's.
First major test for him.
Yes, because you understand, the people who control the ball with the main person in Draymond, his contract's coming up.
Yup.
And Draymond has a history of going back and forth with Steve Kerr.
You've seen it the first year.
Exactly. So Draymond knows that Wiseman and Kuminga, if they develop properly, they kind of make him expendable. So between him and Wiggins, I feel like they're going to keep Poole. Wiggins and Draymond is a little redundant once you have Wiseman, Kuminga, you have Moody. So somebody got to go. If people say they're going to keep all 3, no, they're already way past luxury tax. They're not doing that. Somebody's going to be gone. So I'm going to be very interested to see how Steve Kerr goes about it and how the chemistry works. But if all goes right, they'll be in the conference finals for sure.
I agree with that.
Because here's the scary part. This is a hot take. Steph can go down, and if everybody hoops, they can still possibly get to the conference finals. Ooh. I know it's a hot take. I know it's a hot take. I know.
If Klay becomes, goes back to the 2-way star that we knew Klay to be, if Kuminga takes that leap that we're expecting him to take, if Wiseman and Poole, he could pretty much fill in that role that Curry.
He did it a lot.
He was he was very erratic at points.
Very.
But that comes with learning and experience. So, he's going to get better.
Facts. Hey, we're the educators, so, we have high-level intellect. We can foresee things. So that's just my hot take, me personally. Welcome, Kings and Queens. Just wanted to add a little bit extra to this Warriors breakdown. So there's been a few updates since we did the Warriors contender teams, and we forgot to add a certain part to it, so we're going to do that here. The key thing is Iguodala's back. We mentioned that earlier, but Now it's official.
Yep.
So that's going to be a very, very important part to them because of all the young pieces they have.
100%.
And they're going to need Iguodala to kind of like be on the bench talking to
Yeah.
Kuminga
Wiggins.
and Moody
Yeah, all of them.
and letting them know that like, yeah, your time's coming, relax or just chill, watch the offense, watch the defense, this is what you can do better. That's going to be important to have it, that type of player on the bench. Because you understand, players already don't talk at all sometimes.
Yeah, that's clear.
So now, like when you have a coach on the bench who's a player, well, that's what Iggy is basically. He's gonna be talking into these young wings' heads and explaining them the game to them, letting them like understand what they gotta do when they come into the game. Last year, he got a chance to talk to them all year. They didn't play that much.
And it's real humbling when you hear it from a player who has had success in the league, who's had success with his team, who's been here for 15 plus years.
Exactly. Iggy's not gonna play for real.
Yeah.
He's literally gonna probably be on the bench and play in practice.
He down his Haslam role.
Exactly. And you gotta understand the importance of these type of players because these are the type of players that can speak to anybody in the team and no one says anything. They can go at the coach if they want to. But the reality is that they have a certain backing in terms of chips, longevity. Udonis is 20th year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Iggy, this is 19 year.
Yep.
They both got chips. Not chips. you know?
Yeah, what I make,
You know what I'm saying? They both played long. Udonis has them guarded almost every top player in the NBA in the last 20 years.
And he's been here for all of Miami's chips in the last
All of
20
them.
years.
Exactly. So same thing with Iggy. So Iggy's gonna be able to teach them so many things on the bench. The other thing too as well is that we didn't cover the Warriors' chances of winning the chip in the next 2 to 5 years. Now, I would say the Warriors have a championship window between now and the next 8 years because they're going to be bridging this gap between the veterans and the youth. And every team doesn't have this privilege of doing that. Tim Duncan had it with David Robinson. It was supposed to be Len Bias taking on from Larry Bird. But most of the time in NBA history, rarely are you able to get a good team, a championship contending team who connects to future young players who can take on that same burden. Like I said, because the Warriors also, like the Celtics, like the Lakers, historically have always put good teams together, I really trust them to get at least maybe 2 chips over the next 8 to 5 years, 5 to 8 years. Now,
Yeah.
if it goes perfectly, they can get 3 or 4. They can just bridge this dynasty on from here to there. If it goes perfectly and end up with like 7 chips, 6 chips. So that's the upside. Low side, I think they might get 1 or 2. When you look at, if you watch DiVincenzo play yesterday, perfect all-around player for them.
Yep.
JaMychal Green, perfect all-around player, guards 4s, 5s, and some 3s. You drafted Baldwin that we talked about earlier,
Yep.
who's a versatile, and he's 6'10", 6'9". So you got all this versatility all throughout the court. You don't even really have any players that are lower than 6'5", 6'6", other than Steph. Steph is really the only player that's going to be playing. DiVincenzo 6'4", 6'5". Steph is 6'2", 6'3". Everybody else 6'5". I know Jordan Poole. It says 6'4". Jordan Poole looks like he like 6'5" though. Because he's standing next to Clay and they're like the same height. Him, Draymond, Clay, like all the same height.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
So, but I'll say 6'5" minimum. They got a lot of versatility, a lot of length. It's not Raptors length, but it's a lot of length
But this
compared
is
to
what
the
makes
average
them
team.
able to hide Curry in the defense, bro.
Exactly. That's pretty much the few things we want to add. All right, so with that being said, hey, make sure you stay on your purpose and make sure everybody around you eats, B.